Hey guys, what is up? Today I'm going to be doing Season 1, Episode 1 of Asking Assistant Coach. Let's get into it. The first question is, I'm a GM. What should I do with my restricted free agents? That's a really good question. I really didn't get that many questions from you guys, so put questions in the comments, send it to any of my social medias, and I'll put it in here next video. But answer this question is, qualify every single player you have if they're a restricted free agent, or that you can. Even if you have no intentions of signing them, that basically makes you have, if you're an NHL GM, you basically have the rights. So if another team wants to sign them, they have to compensate you. And then on the other side of that, if you're like an ECHL team or an AHL team, or it basically basically all that does is just retain the guy's rights for the next season. So that can be really good if you want to retain a guy's rights, even if you don't want to sign him, just retain him so that he can't go anywhere else. That could be a really, really good option for you. Okay, the second question I'm going to answer here is, my players are having trouble with board development. Are there any drills that you would recommend that I would do? This is a drill that I created. It's not a very inventive name, but I call it Board Development Pro. Basically, you have forward and defender line up along the corner, and the defender has to stay behind the forward and try to stand on him while poke checking and not tripping the forward out for 50 seconds. If the forward spins away or gets away from the defender, the drill is a failure. If the defender pokes it and it's basically the opposite result, it is a opposite result. What I failed to mention in that little description was the poke check. If it's immediately over if the guy poke checks it away from the forward, but if after 50 seconds the defenseman has not poke checked him, and it's immediately a failure for the defenseman if the poke check ends up tripping the guy. 50 seconds if the puck hasn't been poke checked, then it's a win for the forward and it's a failure for the defense. I would probably use that drill to develop around the corners like that. Okay, next question we're going to answer is, my team is doing really poorly and I fear it's my coaching style. What should I do? My best advice there would be to be a leader in the locker room and not a boss. If the guys come to the bench, be like, good job. Try and build up their confidence. Like, be like, good job after the shift. And then after you say good job, kind of nicely tell them what they could improve on. And yeah. Also, try and be as strict as possible when you're coaching. When you're like not coaching, like don't let players get drunk before the games and all that stuff. Like me, like I will let you get drunk sometimes, but if you're using that way too much and just taking advantage of it, I will shut it down and be more strict. I find that the more stricter coaches are the ones that have more success. So let's go to the next one. Okay, next question is, my players are having a difficult time with chemistry. What would you recommend? I have two drills. The first one is have two forwards and the coach will play defense, and then the players pass the puck to each other on the way from one end to the other, and then finally when they're about at the hash marks of when they're about the hash marks of like that sweet shooting zone, the one player that has the puck will shoot. Then there's also this isn't really a drill, but you can have them spend more time together outside, like say, hey, would you hang out a little bit more, and see if that helps. But there's a different drill, the team passing drills, and give them more ice time. Those can also really help. So let's go to the next question. My players are having problems developing character-wise. Well, first of all, you probably will need more, better players. I wouldn't recommend having guys that are just assholes on your team. That's really good for team branding. I know I was being sarcastic there. It's horrible for team branding. But if he needs development, put him on the line with some veterans to help mentor that player. Make sure like they're a good leadership, or even better, put them on that leadership group's line to help them better, get acquainted and become a better person and player. The next one we're going to answer is he's having players having trouble late in games. My advice would be to tell them never to give up on the play, and don't give up in the game until the final buzzer. Don't go into like some kind of prevention defensive mode where you're relying mainly on your goaltender or defense or one guy. So yeah, there's my best advice there. Okay, so the next question is, my players are having problems with teams having their tempers get too heated. My advice would be to even watch, especially like if it's not like the last 5 minutes of the game, don't do this if it's last 5 minutes, but don't be afraid to tell a player to go out there and fight a guy to calm down tempers in that game. Don't be afraid to don't tell them to play dirty, but be like, hey, fight this guy to help calm those tempers down. That would be my best advice. Okay, that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Also, feel free to please put down any questions that you want in next week's video in the comment section, or tweet them to me, or put them in my Facebook page, or just get them to me somehow, and I will put them in the next video.